Before we start, make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn your post notifications so you don't miss any of our new videos. And now let's get right into it. In the quiet town of Sunlake, where the warm rays of the sun painted the landscape with golden hues, life seemed idyllic. Neighbors greeted each other with friendly smiles. Children played in the park, and love bloomed in every corner. But beneath the surface, hidden desires and secret longings whispered through the veins of this seemingly perfect town. Meet Emily and David Roberts, the embodiment of the picturesque couple. Their love story had been envied by many. They met in high school. Their souls intertwined from the moment their eyes locked across the crowded hallway. Their relationship had weathered the storm of time, blossoming into a marriage filled with love and laughter. But even the most beautiful facade could crack under pressure. Emily had always prided herself on her unwavering loyalty and commitment to David. They had built a life together, raising 2 children and creating a home filled with cherished memories. However, as life became routine, a small seed of restlessness had taken root within her. The spark that once ignited their passion had dimmed, and Emily yearned for more excitement in her life. David, the devoted husband, often buried himself in his work as a successful lawyer. The long hours left little time for them to connect, and he failed to recognize the faint flicker in Emily's eyes, longing for something different. Oblivious to the growing distance, he continued to pour himself into his career, believing his love for Emily was enough to keep their marriage strong. Meanwhile, across the street from the Roberts' charming white, picket-fenced house lived Aaron and Sarah Mitchell. Married for 6 years, they were the epitome of happiness to outsiders. However, Sarah quietly entertained dreams of a different life. She yearned for passion and excitement that seemed lost in the familiar embrace of her loving but predictable husband. Aaron, a charismatic artist, had captivated Sarah's heart from the first brushstroke. But as his fame grew, so did his obsession with his art, leaving little room for their once flourishing romance. Sarah, craving more, often found solace in her own thoughts, resenting the emptiness that had gradually crept into her marriage. The final couple in this intricate web of relationships consisted of Jason and Rachel Collins, whose love story traversed the boundaries of time. Childhood sweethearts, they had exchanged vows under a passionate moonlit sky. Their love had endured, but sometimes love isn't enough. Jason, a police officer, committed his life to upholding justice. But as he faced the harsh realities of his career, his spirit grew heavy, and he found solace in the arms of his fellow officer and confidant, Lisa. A clandestine relationship became an escape from the turmoil within his marriage, beckoning him towards a path that could shatter both his life and the lives of those he loved. In this close-knit community, secrets whispered from one ear to another, like the wind carrying the scent of betrayal. Connections were formed, invisible threads binding these lives together, unknowing of the tangled web fate would weave. As we delve deeper into the lives of these individuals, we witness their struggles, desires, and the choices they make. Love and loyalty will be tested, hearts shattered, and consequences faced. Will the bonds of love prevail, or will the echoes of infidelity rip apart the very fabric of their lives? The summer air hung heavy with anticipation as Emily and David prepared to celebrate their anniversary. It had been 15 years since they first vowed to spend their lives together. But as the day approached, Emily couldn't shake the restlessness that had settled deep within her. She found herself longing for something more, something beyond the routine that had become their marriage. On the evening of their anniversary, Emily adorned herself in a flowing dress, her nerves subtly betraying her calm facade. David, oblivious to the turmoil brewing within his wife, presented her with a beautiful bouquet of roses, a gesture she had come to expect from him. As they sat down to dinner at their favorite restaurant in town, the weight of unsaid words hung heavy between them. The waiter approached their table, taking their orders with a cheerful smile, unaware of the impending storm that lurked beneath their surface. David, ever the attentive husband, tried to break through his wife's distant demeanor. "Is everything all right, Emily? You've seemed different lately," he ventured, a note of concern laced in his voice. Caught off guard, Emily hesitated for a moment before offering a weak smile in response. "Oh, it's nothing, David. Just feeling a bit off lately, that's all," she replied, her eyes avoiding his gaze. The lie hung heavy in the air, casting a shadow over their special evening. But David reluctantly accepted her explanation, not wanting to pry further. Unbeknownst to Emily and David, their neighbors, Sarah and Aaron, had decided to seize their own chance at escape that very same evening. Sarah had developed a habit of stealing glances at Aaron's studio during her afternoon walks, captivated by the flickering candlelight and the passion that radiated from within. She couldn't resist the lure any longer and had found herself standing before the studio door, hesitating for a brief moment before entering. With bated breath, Sarah stepped into the dimly lit room, her heart pounding within her chest. Aaron, consumed by a feverish energy as he worked on his latest masterpiece, turned towards the door to find his wife standing there, a mix of determination and vulnerability etched upon her face. He knew their lives were about to change irreversibly. The room pulsed with unspoken desires as Sarah and Aaron succumbed to the forbidden attraction that had drawn them together. In that single moment of surrender, they ignited a fire that threatened to engulf not only their own lives, but also the lives of those around them. As emotions ran high and choices were made in the dark corners of Sunlake, the perfect facade that once enveloped the town began to crack. Emily, lost in her own yearnings, remained oblivious to the thickening tension that loomed just beyond her white picket fence. Little did she know that the consequences of her desires and the tangled web of infidelity had already been set into motion. It was a crisp autumn morning when fate orchestrated an unexpected meeting that would send ripples through the lives of Sunlake's residents. Emily, in search of a fresh start, ventured out for a morning run along the picturesque lake that gave the town its name. Unbeknownst to her, this seemingly ordinary morning would bring her face to face with Rachel Collins, the wife of her neighbor and childhood friend, Jason. As their paths converged, Emily's breath hitched in surprise. She had known Rachel since they were children, the closest of friends. But as the years passed, their lives took different turns, and their paths diverged. Yet, here they were, reunited in a moment that held both the promise of connection and the potential for betrayal. Rachel studied Emily's slender figure approaching, a flicker of recognition in her eyes. Memories of their childhood flooded back, mingling with the bittersweet realities of their adult lives. She plastered a smile on her face, her voice warm, but laced with hesitance. "Emily, is that you? It's been ages. How have you been?" Emily's heart skipped a beat, the weight of secrets heavy upon her shoulders. She returned the smile, her voice tinged with both nostalgia and a hint of trepidation. "Rachel, it's wonderful to see you. Life has been complicated, to say the least. How about you? How have things been?" As they engaged in polite conversation, the hidden currents of their unhappiness hummed beneath the surface. The turmoil in Emily's marriage, the unspoken desires, and Rachel's own struggles with Jason's elusive behavior pressed against the moment, yearning for release. Little did they know that this seemingly innocuous encounter would set in motion a series of events that would forever change the lives of everyone involved. Meanwhile, David's dedication to his work reached new heights as he sought solace and validation through his long hours at the law firm. Blind to the emotional disarray brewing within his marriage, he dove deeper into his career, unable to grasp the crumbling foundation of their once unshakable love. On the other side of Sunlake, Sarah and Aaron's stolen moments in the studio fueled their desires. The affair they had embarked upon awakened a hunger within their souls that couldn't be easily extinguished. They danced on the edge of reckless abandon, neither fully comprehending the consequences of their actions, nor willing to let go of the intoxicating ecstasy that their stolen moments brought. As the town sat unknowingly on the precipice of chaos, Emily and Rachel shared a moment of raw vulnerability, the understanding between them forged through their unspoken desires. Each knew the weight of their secrets, the locked doors and hidden passions that had become their own personal prisons. The chance encounter by the lakeshore served as a catalyst, setting in motion a chain of events that would test the limits of love, loyalty, and the bonds of friendship. Sunlake, once a haven of tranquility, would now become a battlefield for hearts and souls, where promises were broken, secrets unveiled, and the unyielding power of passion threatened to destroy everything in its path. Whispers in the shadows echoed through the corridors of Sunlake, penetrating the tranquility that once reigned over the town. As Emily and Rachel exchanged furtive glances from across the room at the local coffee shop, their bond tightened, solidifying the silent pact they had formed that fateful morning by the lake. Their troubled hearts sought solace and understanding within this complicated web of desire and unraveling relationships. Sarah and Aaron, caught in the throes of their passionate affair, found themselves growing bolder with each stolen encounter. The studio became their sanctuary, the place where their cravings were satiated and where the weight of guilt momentarily lifted. But in the shadows lurked the haunting whispers of remorse as they grappled with the consequences of their newfound connection, knowing all too well the pain their actions would inflict on their unsuspecting spouses. Meanwhile, the cracks in Emily and David's marriage deepened, exacerbated by his relentless pursuit of professional success and her longing for something more. The once vibrant flame that bound them together flickered, overshadowed by the looming presence of secrets kept and desires unspoken. In the heart of the town, Jason, oblivious to the impending storm that encroached upon his peaceful existence, immersed himself in his work as a local journalist. His investigations led him down a winding path that seemed to converge with the tangled lives of those closest to him. Unbeknownst to him, He was on the brink of uncovering the truth, a truth that would shatter the illusion of Sunlake's idyllic facade. As the days turned into weeks, tension swirled through the air, palpable and suffocating. Sunlake, a town rooted in tradition and loyalty, stood at a crossroads, teetering on the edge of transformation. The actions and choices of its inhabitants would shape the course of their intertwined destinies, forever altering the tapestry of their lives. Whispers spread like wildfire, passed from one neighbor to the next, as the secrets that had once been safely guarded within the sanctity of hidden rooms threatened to spill into the open. Gossips huddled in corners, their eyes flickering with curiosity and judgment, as rumors coiled around the hearts of Sunlake's residents, tight and constricting. In the midst of this turmoil, a clandestine meeting took place, shrouded in darkness and secrecy. Emily, Rachel, Sarah, and Aaron stood together, bound by their shared desires and the choices they had made. It was in this moment, as their collective breaths quickened and their hearts raced, that they made a decision that would set in motion a path to redemption, or perhaps destruction. As the sun set upon Sunlake, casting long shadows upon its residents, the whispers grew louder, the secrets no longer contained within whispers, but now threatening to explode with devastating consequences. The town held its breath, unknowingly teetering on the precipice of irreversible change. The town of Sunlake, once enveloped in a quaint sense of tranquility, now quivered with anticipation. The unraveling thread of secrets woven through the lives of its residents threatened to tear apart the delicate fabric of their existence. Emily, Rachel, Sarah, and Aaron gathered in the dimly lit attic of an abandoned house on the outskirts of town. Bathed in the eerie glow of a solitary candle, they formed an unlikely alliance, bound by mutual understanding and the consequences of their actions. They knew that their tangled web of desires and deceit had the power to destroy the lives they had built. And yet, they clung to each other, seeking solace in the midst of their chaotic circumstances. As the night deepened, they spoke in hushed tones, revealing their darkest fears and exploring the treacherous path they had chosen. Each had their reasons, their own web of broken promises and unfulfilled dreams that had led them to this precipice. But now, driven by a glimmering hope for redemption, they resolved to confront their situations head-on, to untangle the threads of deception and find a way to heal the wounds they had inflicted. Unbeknownst to them, the ever-watchful eye of Jason, ever in pursuit of truth, had caught a glimpse of their clandestine meeting. Suspicion and curiosity mingled within him, fueling his relentless pursuit of the truth hidden beneath the surface of Sunlake. Determined to unravel the mysteries that lingered within his own marriage and the lives of those around him, he tiptoed closer to the edge of a revelation that threatened to consume everything he held dear. Meanwhile, at the heart of Sunlake, David, consumed by the fog of obliviousness, wondered at the disintegration of his once loving relationship with Emily. His heart longed for answers, but his mind naively dismissed the mounting evidence of betrayal that simmered beneath the facade of their picture-perfect life. The tapestry of Sunlake's residents grew more intricate as secondary characters emerged from the shadows, each carrying their own secrets and desires. From the enigmatic librarian with a hidden past to the eccentric artist who found solace in the strokes of his paintbrush, their lives intertwined with the main players, creating a web of interconnected destinies that would lead them all towards an uncertain future. As the unraveling thread pulled taut, the suspense in Sunlake became palpable. Relationships teetered on the brink of collapse, loyalty wavered, and the boundaries between right and wrong blurred as the characters grappled with the consequences of their choices. The town braced itself for the inevitable storm, unaware of the profound impact it would have on their lives, their community, and the fabric of their world. As the sun broke through the clouds, casting a golden glow upon the once troubled town of Sunlake, a new era dawned. The whispers in the shadows had faded, replaced by the resounding echoes of truth, forgiveness, and redemption. Emily, Rachel, Sarah, and Aaron, having faced the consequences of their actions head-on, embarked on a collective journey of self-discovery and growth. Through their trials and tribulations, they found the strength to unearth their deepest fears, confront their flaws, and rebuild their lives. With the support of one another and the unwavering resilience of the human spirit, they emerged as beacons of hope and transformation. Jason, the intrepid journalist, followed the trail of secrets and deceit to its bitter end. He unraveled the mysteries that had plagued Sunlake, exposing the depths of human vulnerability and reminding the town's residents that honesty, even in the face of adversity, would always triumph over darkness. Jason's quest for truth became a catalyst for change as he inspired others to confront their own shadows and seek redemption. In the heart of Sunlake, David, shattered by the revelation of his wife's affair, embarked on a journey of self-reflection and growth. Through the pain and heartache, he realized the power of forgiveness and the necessity of communication within a relationship. With newfound humility, he and Emily began the arduous process of rebuilding their marriage, their love now tempered with a deeper understanding of their own vulnerabilities. Secondary characters, once plagued by their own secret desires, also found solace and growth within the ever-evolving narrative of Sunlake. The enigmatic librarian, burdened by her hidden past, discovered the catharsis of self-acceptance, embracing her true identity without the fear of judgment. The eccentric artist, haunted by his self-inflicted loneliness, let go of his walls and allowed the light of connection to seep into his life, forming genuine bonds with the people of Sunlake. As the threads of their lives interconnected, Sunlake transformed from a breeding ground of secrets to a community united by shared experiences, forgiveness, and the triumph of the human spirit. Trust and love flowed through the streets, weaving together a tapestry of resilience and hope. The once fractured relationships, mended by the threads of vulnerability and empathy, emerged stronger than ever, a testament to the indomitable power of the human heart. In the end, Sunlake stood as a symbol of redemption, a town reborn from the ashes of its own secrets. Its residents, having journeyed through the darkness, emerged with a profound appreciation for the fragility of human connection, the strength of resilience, and the transformative power of truth. And so, the story of Sunlake came to a close, but its echoes lingered, a reminder to all who read it of the frailty and strength that reside within each one of us. For within the vast tapestry of our lives, the shadows may threaten to consume, but the light of truth and redemption will always guide us towards a brighter tomorrow.